And the fact that Nigeria refused to come together and put politics aside and focus on the lives of girls that were taken away. They were focused on an incompetent president as of that time. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. They've turned him to a feeding bottle baby that cannot talk.
There are lots of allegations flying around. You've responded to them on your very popular YouTube channel. But lots of allegations flying around about the NGO that you co-convened, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, allegations that it was sponsored from abroad in an attempt to destabilize the government of President Goodluck Jonathan and ultimately unseat him. What's your reaction to that?
So my first reaction is the fact that the Bring Back Our Girls movement is not an NGO. Neither is it a civil society organization. It's a movement of people who got tired and who were angry that girls that had gone to school were taken away. 276 Chibok girls were abducted. And you know, in all of the things that have been happening recently, a lot more people are coming to the conclusion that indeed there was abduction. Because it took us years. People were saying there was no abduction. So that's one on that one side. So it's a movement. It's not an NGO. And BBOG, the Bring Back Our Girls movement, has never, ever received anything from anyone. We, the members, decided that we were going to self-fund it. We'll put our empathy on the line. We'll put our humanity in. Whatever we need, we will use our own money to do it. What
but there would have been
needs?
Contributions made to
by members. No,
right.
Not if you're not a member. Nobody collected anything from you. And Aisha Yusufu, I'll be able to say, because I was a sit-out coordinator for quite a number of time before I became the strategic team of the strategic team lead of Bring Back Our Girls movement. So I led the movement for some years. I think from around, was it 2015 to like 2018, 19? I'm not sure. And the Bring Back Our Girls movement started on April 30th. 2014, when we marched on the street. And I think it was 18th of March or 19th, I'm not very sure now, of in 2020, that the physical march stopped. We stopped the sit-out. And why was that? Because there was a lockdown by the federal government due to the COVID-19. And all of this, all this allegation of us being paid, being sponsored, it's been going on for 11 years. People have said they will check whatever it is that they need to check. We don't have bank accounts. We were not registered. We don't have anything. So in what way were we doing business with you? Said, as in what? As in we're going to collect what? Is it the T-shirt we couldn't buy for ourselves? Or is it the tear gas that the government were sending to us? Or was it the talks that Jonathan government sent to come and beat us at the Unity Fountain that the USAID were going to use their word to do what for us? But I think what is happening is the fact that we have a lot of Nigerians who are bereft of empathy, bereft of humanity, who watched girls that went to school being taken away, and they did nothing. And for 11 years, they have looked for ways to concoct allegations and say that, oh, BBOG were either funded or whatever, to say that's the reason why they didn't do it. No. The thing is that we all are victims waiting to happen. And the fact that Nigeria refused to come together and put politics aside and focus on the lives of girls that were taken away. They were focused on an incompetent president as of that time, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. They've turned him to a feeding bottle baby that cannot talk, that, oh, he doesn't have any this thing. Was it you say that told Goodluck Ebele Jonathan that for 19 days he shouldn't talk about Chibok girls that were abducted under him? And I think another thing that a lot of people have forgotten is the fact that before the abduction of Bring Back of Chibok girls, Buniyadi boys had been slaughtered in their school. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and I'm calling him out. He never said a word. How heartless, how callous can you be? Children the terrorists took them there and slit their neck in front of other students. There was a girl that we knew. Her brother was slaughtered in front of her. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan never said a word. His administration spokesperson, they didn't say a word until 2015, when the Bring Back Our Girls movement did an anniversary of that, and that was a few weeks to election. And people sit down. We are focused on the president who didn't protect girls that had gone to school. And one other thing that Nigerians keep forgetting is the fact that at the time that Chibok girls' abduction happened, there was a state of emergency in Borno State. Meaning the federal government, the military were more in charge than the governor. Because there were even people who were saying, well, why did they even leave the governor to still be in charge since a state of emergency had been imposed? Because I see a lot of people who say to us, why were you making demands in Abuja? Why didn't you go to Borno? And the first thing I said to such people, what were you doing? Why didn't they go to Borno? Because there's nobody that is meant to come out to protest. Every one of us were supposed to have protested. The federal government, it is when we demand, and this is what we always say, when we were making demands for Chibok girls, and we're still doing for the rest that are still not back home, we're not doing them a favor. And it's not a privilege. It's their right, as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for them to have been brought back home. Nigeria failed them by allowing them to be abducted. And the next best thing was to have brought them back immediately, which they didn't do. And we've been on the street and we're still making demands. And I see people who come out, people who are devoid of empathy, like I said earlier. We make accusation that it was political. It was done to remove Jonathan. Really? People died. Jonathan was busy doing with shenanigans. PDP said for 60 years, nobody was going to remove them. They left children to die.
Even if it wasn't at the instigation of USAID, I mean, you did want Jonathan to leave office, didn't you?
There is nothing that connects USAID.
No, I know. I'm saying
and
even if it wasn't at their instigation, you clearly wanted Jonathan out of office, given the things you've just said. I mean, you didn't...
Myself personally, or the movement?
Well, you and
absolutely,
absolutely.
The movement had nothing to do with Jonathan.
Right.
The movement was apolitical, and it maintained that. And one of the things was that at the Unity Fountain, where we met, no talk of politics was allowed. And this is the thing. There were people from different political parties. They were all parts of the movement. There was never a time we had political talk. Even I remember Dr. Obi Ezekwesili would always insist, sometimes when members are angry and they're referring to the president with just his name, Good Luck or Ebele or G, she would say, no, you must add the president because he happens to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But Aisha Yesufu, yes, I wanted Jonathan to be removed because he was clueless, he was incompetent, he had failed, there was so much corruption. Nigeria was borrowing money to pay salaries. Nigeria was borrowing money to service debt. We are going through so much. There was such corruption. We had monies that were meant to buy arms, were being used, were being stolen, and all of that. So Aisha Yesufu, I wanted Good Luck Ebele Jonathan to be removed, and I worked towards it. And I do not owe anybody an apology for having the right to use my own, how's that English, inalienable right to vote at an incompetent president. That some people, Nigerians who have turned themselves to oxygen-wasting vessels, who think that they are slaves and they are not citizens, they are calling on me to apologize for voting at an incompetent president just because the people that came after him failed. Well, and this is the thing. Let me just round up on this, Charles. Nigerians, I see now when people are talking, they are comparing Jonathan to Buhari, who is an abysmal failure, and to Tinubu, who has failed woefully. How do you do that? Are they okay? So we should look at the moment somebody fails more, then the other one now becomes better. No, why don't they compare the time that Jonathan was there with the time that Yar'Adua was there and with the time that Obasanjo was there? That's how you do comparison. People sit down and say that, in hindsight. In hindsight, do you know what I expected from the people? Was that Nigerians who say enough is enough and never again. And that anybody who does anyone, we will vote you out. But we had people who sat down and refused to do what they're supposed to do and said that it's other people they want to help them vote out. And for every one of them, I say to you, if you said I voted out Jonathan, why didn't you keep him in? After all, was he not the incumbent? And they were telling us that it would take 60 years without anything. You know what? I just the pain we went through. And let me tell you something. In January, I can't remember the specific day now. In January, 2,000 people were killed in Baga. President Good Luck Ebele Jonathan at that time did not say anything. A few days after, Charlie Hebdo, I can't remember how many, was it 8 or something like that? Yeah. Some people were killed.
In Paris, France.
In France, Charlie Hebdo attack.
The magazine.
Guess what? Good Luck Ebele Jonathan dared, without being afraid of Nigerians. He sent them a message, a condolence message. And that was the time that Malema of South Africa,
Julius
Malema, called him an irresponsible leader. If Nigerians want to sit down and turn themselves to slaves and forget where they're coming from because it had worsened, there are some people who say, oh, Jonathan should have been kept. He's the best thing after Jollof Rice because they could buy tickets for 10,000 naira from Abuja to Lagos. For those people, the message I have is that those who have died, they don't know that ticket is now 300,000. And when they could buy the ticket for 10,000 naira, there were others who couldn't afford it. There were people who were running from insurgency in the Northeast. And there was a woman who had a miscarriage, and she didn't know she had a miscarriage. That was how frightened people were. We had our military, they were running away. Our own military running away from a ragtag army entering Cameroon. What did they call it then? They said it was tactical withdrawal. What did we not see? And today they dare to tell us all sorts of things. Whoever it is, you said whatever, let them go and fight whoever is funding what. The Bring Back Our Girls movement is a movement that is self-funded, and no matter what they try to do, they will not take away the pain that we went through to ensure that Chibok girls are brought back.
Well,
we have some who are back anyway.
You mentioned the fact that the army was facing a formidable force in Boko Haram. I mean, doesn't it strike you as a bit odd, and perhaps give credence to the allegations of potential funding coming from different places, that I mean, a group like Boko Haram could have become so well armed and so well funded and so well trained to take on a national army such as the Nigerian
We
army?
remember soldiers writing letters to Jonathan and telling him of the corruption that was happening. And they also wrote to Buhari. None of them did anything, telling them of the corruption that were going on. As of that time, we had, even the military would try some of their soldiers who were selling arms to Boko Haram. And so the corruption that was going on there, and we asked a lot, even when Jonathan said he had sent 20,000, soldiers to the Northeast, the people of the Northeast came out and said they didn't see any 20,000 soldiers. Let me tell you something. I think it was that same 2014 that Iraq did, what was this thing called? When oh Lord, the word, I'm missing the word now, sort of like checking their military, and they fired about 50,000 ghost soldiers. And we're also calling on the Nigerian military to do the same thing. Because when you have ghost soldiers, this is what they don't just take money away from the economy, they also kill lives. Because where they're supposed to be, they're no longer there. So we had an issue whereby it was almost as if there was compromise in the military. And we asked of these things repeatedly, what's going on? Even the Chibok girls, there were countries who came and said they wanted to help bring them back. There were some who said after they did that, they were going to, is it sort of like use gas or something? And the next thing, the terrorists were wearing, gas masks. A lot of people, even in the south, in the northeast, will tell you that when they go give information to the military, before you know what's happening, the informants are the ones who are being killed. We live in Nigeria. We've seen the corruption going on. Even up to today, there have been a lot of allegations of connivance between the military and terrorists. We've seen connivance between custom and smugglers. We've seen connivance between Navy and people who are stealing our oil. We've seen literally, even with EFCC, we've seen a lot of reports on this. Are we talking as if we don't live in Nigeria, where we've seen security agents who are supposed to protect the people, protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, protect the people? We connive with the criminals themselves. It's just like when I asked you, let me ask, most of the criminals we have today, a lot of people, there are a lot of reports that they have more sophisticated arms than our police. Is it the same funding that they are receiving? Currently, I think there's something that the Senate is doing, is saying in the police armory, about 3,000 something rifles are missing. The police is saying, no, they're doing back and forth. Who is it that is funding it? Whatever is the funding, you understand? And Bring Back Our Girls, we did a statement. We said we are interested. If you have any evidence or information, not just to make baseless allegation and you have nothing to back it up, because somebody who is known as a conspiracy theorist, say sometimes English, they want to do us anyhow, but anyway, we shall go to school. Someone who is known for conspiracy theory comes out and says something. We are the Bring Back Our Girls movement. Anybody that has any evidence that, there's any money that Bring Back, we are interested in knowing.
Well, one of the people who's talked about you know, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign and about yourself was, of course, the investigative journalist David Hundeyin. I mean, I don't want to get bogged down in all the things, because a lot of it is in the media, but there is considerable disquiet in activist circles that you and Mr. Hundeyin are having this kind of debilitating public spats. Those who are unhappy say you're both from the same side,
No, we're not from the
should
same
be
side.
working.
Sometimes our goals align.
And should be working together, not against each other, for the good of Nigeria. Or what is your reaction?
So for me, because David Hundeyin is not here, I really don't want to waste so much energy. He doesn't have the right to reply, because I like if somebody wants to talk, let's look at each other eyeball to eyeball. So when they say, first of all, I don't even see myself as an activist. I'm an active Nigerian citizen. I want Nigeria to work, and I'll be there to do it. David Hundeyin, like I've said, in the last, I think now this should be the 4th year, we've had this, and it's a yearly thing, sometimes twice a year, where he tried, and I've dared him. I did a video, I've written, I said I triple dare David Hundeyin, I quadruple dare him. All the investigation he has done on Aisha Yesufu, let him publish them. You understand? When I talk, I have a big mouth, figuratively and physically, and I love to use it. He has done a lot of investigation. What's our problem? Our problem started in 2021, and the reason was because I said PDP and APC are the same. The same thing in late 2022, he will also agree that PDP and APC are the same. And he has gone at every instant that he does that. I don't have a problem. And if you have evidence, and this is what I've tweeted this, and I've said it in my videos, that why is it that David Hundeyin is an investigative journalist until he comes to Aisha Yesufu? Then he's just left with just dropping in windows and trying to make things that they never match. Can he bring out this evidence? I'm waiting. I've been waiting with popcorn and hush smoothies that they sell at Grand Square. I love it. I've been waiting, and I want him to drop whatever evidence that he has. Not to just be making, all of these innuendos and just baseless accusations that don't have anything. If he's Bring Back Our Girls movement, and he said that Bring Back Our Girls movement, if one, then bring out the evidence.
Okay,
because we know we are self-funded. We are the ones who contributed our money. You know one thing, Charles, you know the thing I love about Nigeria is that Nigeria has capacity to deal with everyone. A lot of people who said there was no Chibok girls abduction, some of them have paid ransom. Unfortunately, some of them have died. Every one of us is a victim waiting to happen. The question I always ask is, who is next? Because yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. Those who thought that when it was happening to Chibok, it was none of their business, say it has reached everybody now. And I ask, is it you say that it's funding what is happening in the Southeast?
Yeah, well, let me move on.
If you do anyhow where I did, you will see anyhow. Yes, I don't look for trouble. But when trouble comes looking for me, I grab it with my two hands and I welcome it.
If somebody hits you with a stick, you'll hit with a sledge.
I will break every bone
you'll hit
in your
with a
hand.
Sledgehammer.
I will do it. It's called self-defense. But you see one thing, I would never, even as a child, I would never hit you. On the issue of Shehu Kuti, he did a video. We went for an interview. I'm not even going to go. I've done that one in my YouTube video. We went for an interview, and he decided to take a jab at me, feeling that, he grew up in, what's that thing they call the shrine, and he's feeling ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto. We had no food. We were eating insults as food. So if you come to me that you want to now say, I'm not going to lie down low for you. So he came at me, and I gave it to him. In the case of El-Rufai was governor and decided that he wanted to be an emperor. Small governor that they gave him, he entered, he said, is out now. The same El-Rufai, I think it was 2020 or 2019, that said to me that I'm jobless and I don't have address. He's also jobless, he doesn't have address. All of us now, we don't have address. Who is the next person that you say? So that one came at me. I don't have a problem with anyone, but if you come at me, I'm not going to leave you. And one thing is that there are people who sort of want people to behave in a certain way. And there's something about me that annoys a lot of people, and I'm okay with it. Because if you go to my Twitter profile, it says I don't do labels. I say it as it is. My mom says in my court, nobody wins. You will either love me or hate me, and either one is perfectly okay, because I have enough love for myself. I tell people, you can't say I like Aisha. You always say, oh my goodness, I love her. Or, oh my God, I hate her. And I'm okay. I love dissenting opinions. But for some people, my consistency has been a problem to them. Because for 10 years, they've been saying that, oh, we will show you who Aisha is. Aisha is not who you think she is. And I'm like, bring it on. I don't have a problem. And in everything that I do, because I saw one of the tweets that David Hunde did, he was saying that, oh, they will now remove the label. Oh, some people are now forced to remove the label of NSAS, an obedient movement. I don't need NSAS label. Neither do I need obedient label. I don't need label. I'm the label. I am Aisha Yusufu. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing more.
X, you have more than 2 million followers. But let me just say this, because we're almost out of time. Given that you have not had a chance to lead this country or to put the people you believe will lead this country properly, and as a result, from your perspective, the wrong people have been leading this country and appear poised to do so going forward. Do you have much faith in the future of Nigeria?
Absolutely, I do. I do. You see, that's why I think a few days ago I did a tweet and I said my focus is on the younger generation, 20 years and below. I mean, the Nigerian youth are amazing. They are doing so much. I will tell you something. In recent years, I've not really been as active on Twitter as I used to be because they're taking on issues on their own. So for me, that's what it is. I don't want to be the one doing this, and I want a lot of people who are empowered, to do it. And that's why I kept saying Nigeria does not need more activists. Nigeria needs more active, citizens. Because we are such an amazing country, and all we've had is the leadership that has not worked, and there's so much that Nigeria has to give. And if we're able to get that leadership, like, people will be shocked at how things will suddenly, turn. Nigeria is a great, amazing country, and for me, I am ready to put in the work. There's this thing they call, I don't know, they say cho. I don't do cho. I put in the work, and I'm ready to roll my sleeves and get that work done. And that's, for me, those are part of the things that I'm really doing now. How do we get more people into the National Assembly? How do we get more people into political offices? And I'll always be there. I say, people, I don't want to be right. I want a nation that works. I'm a very selfish person in the sense that I don't want to help anybody. I want people to not need my help. Calling me to tell me you are hungry, calling me to tell me you have not been able to pay school fees. Why? If you have enabling environment for you to be able to earn the money to pay the school fees, you will not call anybody. And that's the Nigeria, that I'm looking for, I'm ready to work for. And there are people that I will oppress them. Even the fact that I'm breathing air. And I will continue to do that. I will not, even as a child, I never dimmed my light for anybody. Even when they beat me, when you finish beating me, I'll continue what I do. So Aisha Yusufu, we continue to speak. We continue to stand on issues that I want to stand on. I will stand on it. And the thing is that I think also another thing that annoys a lot of people is that they don't know how to cancel me. Charles, I've never collected funds from anyone. I have an organization called Citizens For. I fund it myself. What I can do, I do it. There's no organization that, is it grants? I've never collected grants. I've never done contract with government. Even my social media, I've never
but how do you fund the things you do?
I am a businesswoman.
Right.
Let me tell you something, Charles, and I think Nigerians keep missing this part. If I didn't have money, if I was not financially independent, I would never have spoken on Nigeria issue. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up poor. I go to school in the morning without breakfast. Coming up, I had no lunch. So I knew I needed to make my own money. The first time, I was already financially independent before I started speaking for Chibok. Person when no get money, they talk. Before I started speaking for Chibok girls. So for me, I'm a businesswoman. If people want to know, I'm a businesswoman. I sell, I've been doing distribution, I've been doing business. This year we make it 25 years. 2000 was when I started. I used to go to Dubai, buy things and bring. I started distributing in 2002. There are some businesses that I've been doing for over 22 years. I build houses, I sell. If you have anybody that wants to buy houses, I have flats, I think now like 6, the ones completed about 618. 2-bedroom flats, if you want to buy it whole, 6. I don't have those. You come and buy. That's what I do. I sell. I buy land. I sell land. There's money to be made out there. I made money before I started speaking on Nigerian issue. And so that's why if you get into office, I don't call you. I don't ask for favor. I don't ask for job. People come to meet me. Aisha, you're popular. If you ask this person, you have this friend here. I tell them, if I ask them for favor, I won't have this big mouth. I won't be able to use it. I love to use my big mouth, so I don't ask anybody for favor. I stay within my means and my husband's means. If it's more than my means, and my husband's means, I don't do it. And that's the reason why I can look anybody eyeball to eyeball and say the things I want to say the way it's supposed to be said.
But of course, I mean, a lot of the people who are your opponents, if I might use that term, are protected by badges, uniforms, and all the myriad trappings of a government in power. They are, of course, sworn to be duty-bound and to uphold the law, but we all know that they often cheat and bend the law. Does that force you to cheat and bend the law as well yourself?
Absolutely.
In the process of fighting against them?
Absolutely not. Because this is the thing. If you bend the law, you won't have moral justification to speak. I remember, was it 1999, I think? Yeah, when I was in my youth service. They overpaid me. NYC overpaid me. When I was returning that money, everybody was making fun of me. Even the bank, I think it was called People's Bank, defunct People's Bank. That was where I was acting. It was a problem. Even the people at NYC, they were fighting me. It was later I realized probably there was something.
That's the National Youth Service
Service Corps. I thought that's probably they were doing some scheme because they overpaid me like 3 times. It was quite a bit of money. I returned it. If I didn't return it, do you think I will have the amount I have today? I won't. I'm a stickler for process. In short, sometimes you'll be irritated. I'll give you an example. I'm driving on a road. There's a place that says no U-turn. Do you know what I would do? I would go to the right, go to another road in there, turn, then come and do this. So sometimes I'm driving people, Aisha, why are you doing this? Everybody is doing it. I always say that everybody is doing it doesn't make it right. I don't want a situation where you meet me, then I'll be scratching my head. I have nothing to say.
Well, I'm glad that's the way you do it.
That's
because
the way
that's the proper way to do it.
That is as a child, even as a child.
And I find that very admirable, by the way.
I would do. So that's why for me, I will look somebody in the eye, I will do. That's why I will say to anybody that has anything, please, my cupboard, open it. If there's any skeleton, bring it out. Even me, I will help you to knock my head and say, Aisha, what were you thinking when we were doing that? So, but all these people dropping in windows, there's no evidence, accusing. I've had this accusation for the last almost 11 years now.